Welcome to the Wisdom to Wealth podcast. This is the podcast where we interview the wealthiest entrepreneurs and business owners in the world. Today's going to be a fantastic podcast as we have Kayla on here. I'll introduce her in just a second. I am your host, Shamara Star Cox, TV producer and marketing coach. My goal is to help 6 and 7 figure business owners create binge worthy content in a way that attracts their followers and then converts their followers into customers. I am also the founder of the Convert Content to Cash Challenge. So if you are someone where you want to learn how to create content that sells in just 5 days or less, feel free to DM the word challenge accepted on Instagram or comment the word challenge accepted, and I will personally send you an invite. If you are on YouTube or LinkedIn, you can feel free to DM me challenge accepted, and I will send you the invite. Today, we have the lovely Kayla with us. She is a master's of physiotherapy and is the founder of AWPT University. It's a 7-figure company with thousands of students, and she helps them with their health. Kayla, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So let's jump into your story. Let's hear your story of where you started to where you are now.
Yeah, so I am a physio by trade. So I did my university master's degree. After university, I worked in private practice for quite a few years, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do. As I was studying, I was working as a personal trainer and a coach, and I really loved working on the performance side of things. And when you're a physio, you see a lot of the rehab, you see a lot of the pain, and it was quite emotionally taxing on me. So I decided to go back into more of a coaching and professional setting, as well as doing my physiotherapy for those who needed it. It was at the end of 2019, I left the job. I was working at a very well-known strength training gym here in Sydney, known as Base Gym. Some people may know it. I don't know how well Americans know it. But under Australian Strength Coach, basically. And when I left that, I went traveling. And so I was doing seminars and coaching other coaches in their gyms around the world, so in their respective cities. And everyone knows what happened in 2020, so that didn't last very long. But when that happened, I really had to pivot. So that's where AWPT University was created. I created a university for trainers and personal coaches, specifically more focused on women's health and training, because I didn't really know a whole lot about it. I didn't know a whole lot of companies doing that at that particular time. So yeah, that's how it all started.
I love that. And I love that you talked about this pivot in 2020. As an entrepreneur, we're always making pivots, right? And it's not easy. How are you able to navigate any type of negative mindsets that may come as you're making a pivot, as you're making a transition in your business?
It's an opportunity for growth. So it is a really difficult lesson to swallow, but I always think of, okay, if there's something happening in my way, it's happening for me and it's happening to show me something, essentially. Like everything, bad, quote unquote, about us or difficult or something that we don't like, unfavorable, I should say, also external circumstances, it's always trying to show us something. It's always trying to support us in our evolution to be better, I find. And so sometimes in the moment, we don't actually know that. It can be also in hindsight, but it's always an opportunity for growth. If, something's standing in your way, something's not quite working out, it's just trying to find what that is.
I love that flip, right? As opposed to looking at it like it's happening to me, it's happening against me. Instead, it's like, no, it's happening for me. This is the opportunity for growth for me to be able to push through. That's a really good mindset to have. When you were younger, did you also have this mindset, or did something happen where you were able to cultivate this mindset?
Yeah, so I grew up playing a lot of sports. So I did play soccer for something like 20 years. I played basketball. I did athletics. I played women's football as well. You guys call it football. We call it gridiron over here. So I played that for a few. So I've always kind of had that athlete's mindset, I guess. And, my parents have been really supportive in that, in helping me cultivate that mindset and the determination that you need, the training, all the different parts that go into that. So yeah, I'm really thankful for that in my upbringing.
I love that. I feel like I interview a couple of athletes and they say the same thing. Like you have to have a certain mindset as an athlete just to get to the top, just to continue going. And it's making me think that that's the same thing when it comes to entrepreneurship. Like we got to have a type of determination and a type of mindset. So I love that you talked about that. So talk us through how you help your clients now with their health.
So I mostly work with women's health and fitness coaches. I also help them with their businesses as well. So when I'm helping these clients, I'm more so helping them with their technique, with their programming, looking at the anatomy, looking at the biomechanics, all the kind of science nerd stuff, but things that really help create effectiveness in a program. And this effectiveness obviously transitions over into results. And so in along that journey, that's one of the very first pieces that we want to have a look at when it comes to being a great coach. It's like cultivating your craft. You want to have a really great product. And then in that journey along the way, it's like, okay, well, how do we deliver that to clients? What do we need to learn about clients' nervous systems, adding some neuroscience in there? And then each step along the way, then it comes to business and being able to, again, do what you do, help market, help understand the systems and the processes behind that. And yeah, it's something that I, along my own journey, have had to do. And then as I go through this journey, being able to share that with others as well.
I love that. And for your clients who you're helping, what type of success have you seen them get as you're helping them with this?
Well, the classic thing that I think a lot of coaches really want, and I hear it all the time, is they struggle with imposter syndrome. They struggle with this imposter. I'm not sure if you hear that a lot with your clients as well, but helping them cultivate that confidence. And that really comes from understanding the craft, understanding the underlying things, and knowing that it's not because you're not capable the reason why you might not be where you currently want to be at. It's just because there's gaps missing, and we all have gaps missing along our journey. It's uncovering those gaps and being able to fill those gaps with knowledge, with application, and really feeling confident in what we're delivering to our clients, confident in ourselves, and confident as well to put ourselves out there on a free social media platform to help with our marketing. It's a huge opportunity.
Oh, I just love that you talked about that. I always tell my audience that social media is a free marketing platform that you don't have to pay for ads. You just need to show up. Like I was able to build, I know so many people who was able to build successful businesses, including myself, just from this free platform. So I love that you brought that up. But yeah, let's go a little bit deeper into imposter syndrome, because this is something that a lot of people, like you said, they do experience it, and it can hinder them from moving forward. What's one thing that you teach your clients that can help them to really overcome that so they can still keep moving forward in their business?
I think reframes are helpful. Reframes are helpful to begin with, just to give them that different mindset, to give them that different perspective on what's actually happening with imposter syndrome. And then also working through, well, what are those gaps? What are the gaps that we need to fill? And I think meeting yourself where you're at and not trying to be something else, not trying to be someone else, is really helpful, because you can't be an imposter when you're just being yourself. Your clients come to you for that exact reason. They come to you because you are you. And when you meet yourself where you're at, you know what you know, and you also know, well, you probably don't know what you don't know, but you understand that you don't know everything. And being able to just say that to your clients, I don't know, but I'm going to find out. And having that mindset of, I don't need to know everything. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to be there to be a guide, to be constantly learning, and to be, always working and striving to be better for them.
That reframe is so important. And you actually you did it when I first asked you, like, how are you able to navigate the negative mindsets? And you were like, I just see this at, like, if there's any setbacks, I see this as an opportunity for growth, right? And that was you reframing it in that moment. So I love that you teach them that. But there's another thing you just said that was super important, which is really embracing that you don't know everything. And I think oftentimes some coaches specifically can hinder themselves from truly helping others because they think I have to know everything. And the reality is you don't have to know everything. Let me know if you can still hear me. They just started drilling. Can you hear the drilling?
I can still hear you, but I can hear the drilling. Yeah,
Okay.
it stopped. Yeah.
Hopefully they stop. Right. But really being able to help others and know that what you know now, it's going to bless them. You don't have to know everything. Your ideal clients who you're serving, they're looking at you as someone who can really help them because they don't know. So they're looking at you as the expert. So I think sometimes people think as the expert we have to know everything in order for us to serve, and that's not true. You just need to know what you need to know and then be completely honest with your audience. So I love that you brought that up. So let me ask you this. What's one decision that you made that really shifted your business, that really skyrocketed you to the next level?
Well, I think it might not have been a conscious decision, but the pivot, like it was something that I always had in mind, working online and being able to reach a number of people from all over the world. I knew that before I even had a business. I was posting on social media for about 4 years, I think it was, without actually having an offer. And so I think that's where, people will see an overnight success or they'll see luck, but they won't see the hard work behind the scenes, waiting for that opportunity, right? Like we often look for opportunities before we've actually prepared for them. And being prepared for that opportunity to come your way will make things a whole bunch easier. And, say the opportunity doesn't come. It's like you've put in the work already, you put in the groundwork to do the things without actually needing to have that external reward. And that is, I think, something that really helps drive the needle forward. So yeah, definitely maybe not a conscious decision, but I guess a conscious decision to leave my job at that point in time, like right at that point in time, to take a huge risk, to travel and just leave what I knew. Everything was great there. I had a great job, great living situation. It was comfortable, very, very comfortable. But then taking that next step, taking that risk to then have it taken away, but then also pivoted into a better direction, I think was, probably one of the biggest decisions that I made.
Yeah, that's so powerful. Let me know if you can still hear me. Does it sound
Yeah,
fine?
yeah.
Okay, I put my speakers in so I could hear you because the drilling is just so loud. But it's so powerful. As entrepreneurs, we do have to take risks pretty much daily. So I love
Mm.
that you took this risk and then you were able to help thousands of people because you have thousands of people in your program now. If you never left your job and you never decided to actually, create this program, you wouldn't be able to help thousands of people. And so let me ask you this. What are three like main points that you typically share with your audience to really help them with their business?
So number one is to just get started. Whatever it is just to take that next step. You don't necessarily need to have everything planned out because it's never like it never goes to plan anyway. Having that big vision is really important, and having the why underneath it is really important. So I think that would be the first one. The second one is to stay focused on your client. When you put your client first, when you have a client-centered business, when things get really, really difficult, you know that you're not just doing this for you. So if you let yourself down, it's not just about letting yourself down, it's also letting down the other people. And having that responsibility allows you to keep going when times are really tough. And then I would think what we spoke about before, it's taking risks because, things are scary. And I think as well, business, and also if you're an athlete, I feel like those two things are really big drivers for personal growth as well. And personal growth is professional growth. Professional growth is personal growth, because it's really going to reveal a whole lot of things about you, a whole lot of things about yourself, and needing to become someone who is able to do the hard things, keep going when you feel like giving up. And it's okay to feel those feelings, but being someone that just continues to have that grit and determination, that no matter what, you've got to make it work. Because really, when you are in business, you're relying on yourself. You really have to rely on yourself. There's no safety net. There's no employer to catch you and to pay you and all the things. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that are really important in there.
I love that you said that. There was a couple of things that you said, which was the client focus, and really just this reminds me. I've had a couple of people on the podcast now who talks about the importance of relationship when it comes to building our business and when it comes to building wealth. Like, yes, we can get clients that are transactional; they come one time, but really building that relationship with them, becoming friends with them, taking your time with them. I feel like that's super important. And another thing that stood out to me was when you said personal growth is also professional growth. What is something personally that you did to grow that really helped your business?
So being able to identify limitations within myself, which, as you said, like having those relationships, I have an incredible mentor. She's a neuropsychologist, and being able to see, the things about myself, the blind spots that I have, to be able to grow. One thing for me personally that's been a really big personal growth thing is having boundaries. And I never knew what that meant for the longest time, because I wasn't modeled them. And so I'd always just, I'd be the people pleaser. I'd be like, yep, everything's fine, and really want people to like me as well. And really, it's probably really recently that I've had to go, do I want to be known as the nice girl, or do I want to be known as the great woman and do the right thing? She's cooking. So that's been a really hard thing, because it's meant that I've had to hold higher standards and hold people to higher standards. And people who aren't ready for those higher standards, they think that you're the villain, they think that you're the bad person. And sometimes you have to be that in someone's story to help them grow as well. It's not about being like this hard ass, you know, boss or whatever it is. It's just about, hey, like, I can see that we're not holding the standards that we want at this company, and we really want to ensure that we're aligned in the vision and the growth. And some people don't see that either. Sometimes, they prefer to not take responsibility for certain things, and they're just not ready for it, depending on what's happened with them. So, it's really being able to, I see now, have that strength and have that ability to be held and not being liked, or to be criticized, and to have people think different things about you that may not necessarily be true, but it's not your job to kind of tell them otherwise or show them otherwise.
Yeah, I think you brought up such a good point, which is knowing your limitations. Because when you're that self-aware, then you know what tools you need to use in order for you to be able to navigate those limitations. And by limitations, you were talking about limiting beliefs, right? Our limiting beliefs can really hinder us. So really understanding that. And then another thing you said, which was, and it's okay that you feel that way. That has been my tool that has helped me to really navigate whenever I feel like things aren't working out. Like, every day I wake up and I ask myself, okay, Star, how are you feeling? And I'll say, like, I'm feeling worried or concerned, or I'm feeling excited, or I'm feeling fearful. And then I tell myself it's okay to feel that way. I think if you're constantly fighting yourself, it makes it hard for you to move forward. But when you accept that these are normal emotions, it's going to happen. Not every day is going to be great, right? Then you're able to navigate. So I really love that you shared that. And so for those who are listening, right? Well, actually, did you want to add anything before I ask you the next question?
No, I think that's great. I think, you know, understanding that you can dissociate your emotions from your actions. So your emotions don't necessarily have to dictate your actions if you're well resourced. Like from a nervous system perspective, you need to have the things that fill up your cup, the things that make you, feel more regulated, whether that's using the breath, whether that's using your relationships, and being able to understand and witness your emotions and go, oh, that's interesting. Ask questions, stay curious. Why do I feel that way? Not needing to change them, but understanding that you can choose differently in the moment. You can wake up in the morning and not feel like working out, but you can still go and you can feel better afterwards. You change your state and you change your physiology, and then you start to feel better. So, having that contrast is really important, I think, for being a human being, understanding that, we don't know what happiness is if we don't have despair. We don't, like, it's all on a continuum. So yeah, I loved what you said there. That was really cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let me ask you this question. As a business owner, how do you stay aligned with your purpose and your values while you're growing wealth and influence?
I'm gonna say, like, you pick it up and you notice it when you're not. So it's not that I'm doing everything perfectly all the time and I'm perfectly aligned with my values and my purpose all the time. Sometimes I have lost my way along the way. And you feel that you pick that up when you do stay open, you do stay aware. Does this feel good to me? Does this feel aligned? Is this how I want to run my business? And as well, like, that's different for everybody as well, and people will build their build their businesses in different ways. And it's just staying aligned with my values and just tuning in and seeing, how do I feel? Am I making this more about myself than my clients? Okay, well, how can we bring it back and make sure that, we're still working towards that bigger vision that is greater impact for the world and not just myself.
What I love so much about this conversation is normalizing that we're going to have these off days, normalizing we're going to have these negative emotions, and not trying to fight it. I think oftentimes we can fight ourselves. And for me, let me talk about me. For me, if I'm fighting these bad days, if I'm fighting being out of alignment, if I'm fighting having these negative emotions, then it makes me feel like I'm not a good person, right? And should I really be doing this? But I like that you open with, I notice it when it's not that I'm staying in it. I'm already this person, but there are some days where I may be out of it, right? Or I may have lost my way. And that's okay, because it's your journey. It really is just normalizing this journey and building your business and building your wealth. And these things are going to happen. We're not going to have perfect days. We can't control the way that we feel. Well, we can definitely navigate our emotions. So I really love that you share that. I just think that's super powerful. And so for those who are listening right now, how can they work with you? And I have your links, so I'm going to go ahead and drop them while you're speaking.
Yeah, so if you're a coach or a personal trainer or another health professional as well, I help other health professionals with their businesses. You can find me at Kayla Lee Physio or at AWPT_university. I have some free resources that are available. So Star has just dropped in the mini course that we have if you're looking to learn more about women's physiology and training. And we also have the AWPT course, which is our signature program. It's an 8-week course, and it covers everything to do with women's training and physiology, all the way from anatomy, biomechanics, to training during pregnancy and different stages of life as well, navigating women's unique physiology.
Awesome. So I dropped the links in the chat. If anybody wants to grab it, you can go ahead and grab it. The links will also be in the captions for when this is posted as the replay. So if you want to get access to it, you can get access to it again. And again, follow Kayla. She is so powerful. She helps so many women with their business, with their health, and it is really amazing. Kayla, I want to say thank you so much for joining us today. It has been such a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you to everyone who tuned in on Instagram, who tuned in on LinkedIn, who tuned in on YouTube. You have been such a blessing today. We'll be back again on Monday. I actually have a solo episode on Monday, and we'll see you Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern. You all have a great weekend.
Thanks, Star.